The rain had been falling for hours by the time the Carter family shut down their lights for the night. Their farmhouse sat alone at the end of a dirt road, miles from the nearest town, surrounded on all sides by thick, towering forest. The kind of forest locals avoided after dark. The kind where sounds carried strangely, and sometimes didn't belong to anything you could explain. Inside the house, a warm fire crackled in the stone fireplace. Tom Carter leaned back in his chair, tired from a long day fixing fences. His wife Melissa dried the last plate from dinner, while their kids, 14-year-old Jake and 9-year-old Lily, sat on the rug, watching a late-night movie. Outside, the woods moved in the wind. Branches scraped together. The rain tapped the roof, the normal sounds of a quiet country night. Then something else joined them. Thump. Jake looked up. "Did you hear that?" "Hear what?" Another sound echoed from somewhere outside the house. Thud. Not a branch falling, not an animal running. Something heavy. Tom stood and walked to the front window. He pulled the curtain aside and looked into the darkness beyond the porch light. For a moment, he saw nothing but rain. Then the trees shifted. Something large moved between them. Too tall to be a man, too wide to be a deer. Tom slowly let the curtain fall. "What is it?" Melissa asked. Before he could answer, bam! The entire house shook. Lily screamed. Something had slammed into the outside wall with enormous force. Tom grabbed the curtain again and pulled it aside. Standing just beyond the porch light was a massive figure. 8, maybe 9 feet tall. Its body was covered in long, dark, matted hair. Its shoulders were huge, its arms hanging down almost to its knees. Steam rolled from its mouth in the cold air as it breathed. Its eyes reflected the porch light, pale and animalistic. The creature let out a low, rumbling growl that vibrated through the glass. Jake whispered, "Dad, what is that?" Tom didn't answer, because the creature suddenly stepped forward. Then it charged. Crash! It slammed into the front door with enough force to rattle the entire frame. "Everyone away from the door!" Tom shouted. Melissa grabbed Lily and pulled her toward the back of the living room. The creature roared outside, a deep, thunderous sound that didn't sound quite animal, and didn't sound quite human either. Boom! Another hit to the door. The wood cracked. Tom ran to the hallway closet and pulled out his old hunting shotgun. "Jake, help me move the couch." They shoved the heavy couch against the front door. Something massive struck it again. The hinges screamed. Outside, the creature circled the house, its footsteps heavy and deliberate. The boards of the porch groaned under its weight. Then everything went quiet. Too quiet. Melissa whispered, "Where did it go?" The answer came seconds later. Smash! Glass exploded in the kitchen. A huge, hairy arm burst through the window, knocking plates from the counter. Claws scraped across the sink as the creature tried to force its way inside. Melissa grabbed a knife from the counter and slashed at the arm. The creature shrieked and yanked it back. Tom ran into the kitchen and fired the shotgun through the shattered window. Boom! The blast lit up the yard. For a split second they all saw it, clearly. The massive creature stumbling backward in the rain, its huge chest heaving, its teeth bared in rage. It disappeared into the darkness again. But it didn't leave. For the next several hours, the creature stalked the house. Sometimes they heard it pacing around the walls, sometimes scratching at the siding. At one point, the roof creaked as its enormous weight climbed on top of the house. Dust fell from the ceiling while Lily cried quietly in Melissa's arms. Tom sat in the living room with the shotgun across his lap. Jake held the iron fireplace poker like a weapon. They didn't speak much. They just waited and listened. Around 3 in the morning, the creature returned to the front door. It slammed into it again and again. The barricade shifted. The doorframe began to splinter. "Dad," Jake whispered. Tom steadied the shotgun. "If it gets in, we fight." The creature roared outside. One final slam shook the house so hard, the couch slid several inches. Then, nothing. The footsteps moved away. Slowly. Gradually fading toward the woods. The family sat frozen for nearly an hour after that, afraid to move. Finally, pale gray light began creeping through the broken kitchen window. Dawn. Tom cautiously opened the front door. The yard was destroyed. Mud torn up everywhere. Huge footprints pressed deep into the ground, each one nearly the size of a dinner plate. Long claw marks ran along the walls of the house, but the creature was gone. Back at the edge of the forest, the trees stood silent and still. Jake stepped onto the porch beside his father. "Do you think it's gone?" Tom stared into the dark woods for a long moment. Then he said quietly, "I hope it found something else to hunt." Deep in the forest, far beyond the tree line, something large moved between the shadows. Silent again.